What's going on, y'all? My name is Jeremy, and this is the Cubicle Rebellion podcast, clocking in once again. And today, I actually had another. Actually, this isn't a book, so to start there. This isn't a book, but so I want to talk about a course I took while my job had some downtime. When I got hired in 2017 in my current job, they allowed us some time to kind of do some personal training, take some training courses that we find. And I stumbled across this course called Harvard Manage Mentor. Um, and I figured, anything with the name Harvard, let me see what it's about. Maybe that could make me sound smarter than what I am. Use some of that branding and let it rub off on me. So I did pull some interesting ideas away from this particular course. It's called the Harvard Manage Mentor course. And they had courses about all kinds of things, but the two that interest me obviously was the creativity type of stuff, considering my background, in music business and whatnot. And so two ideas I want to share with you. One is creative brainstorming techniques, and the other is narrowing how to narrow down an idea. Um, so there were four categories, so they all revolved around a box when it came to creative brainstorming techniques. And obviously, you can just use this in anywhere, in any way. So you had visioning, exploring, modifying, and experimenting. Visioning is considered breaking out of the box. Exploring is getting into the box. Modifying is being bigger than the box. And experimenting is test what you know about the box. Now that rung some bells for me. I was like, okay. Everybody always talks about the box, get out of the box, think outside of the box. But I had never considered all the ways you could use the box metaphor. So, real quick. So, visioning, break out of the box. So, the idea of this is consider this the idea with no restraints, almost like a wish list. You know, Paste magazine pictures. Just it's a wish list. Just go as far as you can. Go as high as you can, as low as you can, as wide as you can, as deep as you can with the idea, and don't think about all the things that's easy to think about in terms of well, what if this, what if that? That's not what this is for. Just go to the fullest extreme of it and see what you come up with. Again, brainstorming techniques. So, second one, exploring. Get into the box. So, this one was a little harder for me to understand, but the basic idea is just reverse your assumptions about a thing. So, if I assume a situation to be one way, just think the opposite or reverse it or reverse engineer it, I guess. So the idea of exploring and getting into the box is just reverse every assumption you have about that thing, about that product, about that service, or about that idea, and just find a new way to approach it. And, I'm sure you get some, new things to write on the whiteboard, and you get, you'll get some momentum that way. Third, modifying. Be bigger than the box. So you begin with the status quo and think about adaptations. If you were, for example, if you were the customer, what would you change? So this is kind of like, I guess, empathy in a way. You start with the status quo. You start with the basic form of whatever your idea, product, or service is, and then adapt it. Take it a step further. How can we modify it? How do we evolve it or grow it? What's the not what is this product 10 years from now, or the service 10 years from now, or this idea 10 years from now, but what is this 10 minutes from now? What is it a minute from now? Like, just that very next step. What's the evolution of this thing? And if you were a customer, what would you change? If I was on the receiving end of this particular situation, idea, product, service, what would you change if it were you? So, number 4, experimenting. Test what you know about the box. So you would systematically combine info in various ways and test for viability. So you would basically create a matrix and then crossbreed it, you know. So you would just create that matrix, with I guess it's kind of like the XY axis, or it's like a four square box, I guess you could say. And you write two categories at the top and two categories on the side, and then you would just mix and match and see what you come up with. So those are those four ideas. And last, how to narrow down an idea. Okay. So here are a couple of questions, just rhetorical questions to think about. What functions are essential and what are nice to haves? So what's essential? What can't you do without? Like what is mandatory? What is a must? And what are the nice to haves? Again, kind of back to that wish list. What are some? Well, that would be nice. It's not necessary. I don't need it, but it would be nice to have. Nice to add. Nice to. I'm not going to turn it down if it happens to show up, or if we get that opportunity to do X, Y, and Z. I'm not going to turn it down. Cost constraints is another one. Cost. Look, budgets can answer a lot of questions for you pretty fast. Personal budgets, corporate budgets, creative budgets, they answer a lot of questions pretty quickly. So if you don't have the money, you can't do it. And then it's like, what do we have money for? What can we do? What we have. What is the deadline is another one. What's the deadline? Time is also, essentially, that's a time question. So, time. How much time do we have? And sometimes that's imposed from outside sources or self-imposed, or it's, how fast can we beat the competitor or whatever, So deadlines. And lastly is in what ways must a product service be compatible with existing products or services? So if your product or service or idea, I guess the question is does your idea depend on other factors before it can even be considered relevant or useful? So, which is a crucial question, honestly, because you can have a great idea, but if it relies on another product or another service, or if it requires almost even if it just requires too much explanation, sometimes that can kind of dictate how far a thing goes or doesn't go. So you definitely want to consider. These are just some questions to throw around in your own mind, or if you're with other people or creative groups or whatever. But like I said, is your idea, product, or service dependent on anything else, anybody else? Is it dependent on, resources you don't have, money you don't have, et cetera, et cetera? So, anyway, like I said, this is a short one. Hopefully you got something out of it. If not, I tried. All right. I will get at y'all at another time, probably sooner than later. Thanks for listening. The alarm, the coffee, the drive, the work, the bed. The alarm, the coffee, the drive, the work, the bed. The alarm, the coffee, the drive, the work, the bed. If that sounds familiar to you, if that sounds like your life, then you're probably like me. Every day you crawl in and out of that 5x7 cube of indifference, sitting in that, cost-effective Office Max chair with lumbar support, and you sit there and you wonder, is this all there is? Is this what my life has been reduced to? Why don't you try doing a podcast and start talking about it like me? That's what I'm doing, so we'll see how far it goes. But, it's got to be better than, settling for food days and casual Fridays at a job you hate. And, plus you can literally make a podcast about anything, just, find a niche and exploit it, the Anchor app is pretty cool because you can, pretty much use the mic on your phone, and the app pretty much does the rest, and plus, you don't want to do any extra work. You're already busy. I'm sure you don't. I'm sure you got dinner to cook and kids to feed, bills to pay, etc., etc., And you need an app that's going to do all the heavy lifting for you. So let me read what they got here. So check this out. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free, which is true. And it's ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. And that means you can get paid right away to podcast. In fact, that's what I'm doing pretty much right now by reading, quote, end quote, this ad. So, it's worth a try. I mean, it's basically, like I said, it's a one-stop shop for all of that. So it's like a Walmart/Target for podcasting. You can you can get a pair of slacks, grocery shop, and get an oil change. It does everything for you. All you have to do is just turn on the record button, plug in your headphones into your phone, and just do it. You could just go off and just start talking. It's user friendly. So just so you know, just go to anchor.fm/start. That is anchor.fm/start. Okay, go ahead and check that out. Let me know if you end up doing it. Maybe we can collaborate, see where it goes. Who knows? All right.